So here we are joining a 5 weeks commitment to be present and to focus on impermanence and to understand why we're focusing on impermanence. So one of the main tenets in Buddhism is that if you understand impermanence, you can be happier. So all the different things that people ask for in life, being more present, being happier, dealing with specific issues or problems. When you're kind of working with a Buddhist practitioner, a Buddhist teacher, a lot of times they would start you out in meditating on impermanence. And part of the reason for this is when you let go of trying to make things permanent, trying to control them, you have a sense of freedom, a sense of expansiveness. And the process of the meditation on impermanence actually really helps us get there. So, one of the things that meditation does, another thing it does is it equalizes you with all beings. We put things in category. We have socioeconomic categories. These people have more, these people have less. We put people in, these people look better, these people don't, these people behave better, these people don't. So we have a lot of separation that chops up the wholeness of energy. And when that happens, we don't have the access to that level of energy that can really empower, infuse us to have a better life, fully present in the moment. So that said, we'll just start out with our 2024 invocation together to open us up, to get us ready to be able to absorb the words, but also download the energy and open up spaces in ourselves, create more spaciousness for life, for healing, for understanding, for being happy. So taking a few deep breaths, just start to notice what you notice. And meditation and breath, there's stages of it, getting into the meditative state. And one of the first stages is you just become aware of sensation. So as you are breathing, you can close your eyes, just be present in this moment. Start to focus on your breath, breathing in, pausing at the top of the breath, breathing out. And I like to give myself the command, breathing in, pausing at the top of the breath, breath out, let go. Breathing in, pausing at the top of the breath, noticing, breathing out, let go. And as I go through that pattern of my breath, breathing in, pausing at the top of the breath, noticing, breathing out, let go. So we focus on our breath, the movement of the flow in your body. Just focus on your breath. You can give yourself those commands to begin with. Breath in, pausing at the top of the breath. Notice what I notice. Breath out, let go. So you can watch the flow of your breath with those commands and just drop the commands at a certain point and watch the breath and notice. You start to notice the sensations, whether you're uncomfortable. You start to notice what your gut feels like, maybe your shoulders, your neck. You start to notice thoughts. Are you fidgety? You want to be able to sit. The meditation sometimes is referred to as sit. I'm going to sit, a sitting practice. A meditative practice can also be done by walking and moving. But for this class, we will certainly, in your practices, have those aspects of mindfulness when you carry through your day. You'll begin to recognize that even when you're watching TV or having a conversation or doing your work, you can start to access that other part that's calm, that notices, that watches the breath, breathing in, breathing out, breath in, breath out. And so we are coming together to breathe, to share, to remind ourselves of the power and the gift of impermanence. Impermanence, breathing in, breathing out. So, first phase in meditation is the noticing of sensations, of thoughts, of feelings. So you might notice I'm kind of depressed, or you might notice my mind is racy and I keep thinking of what I have to do later, or just noticing the thoughts without attaching to them, letting them go by, not having to change them. I don't have to feel better if I'm not feeling good. I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to feel anything. I can just watch. You'll have the feelings, the emotions will be present. You'll notice them. You'll have the thoughts. The thoughts will be present. You notice them. You'll have the sensations in the physical body. Breathing in, breathing out. So the first phase of meditation is the noticing, the feeling of sensations, the recognition of them, and the continuance of the breath. You keep connecting to your breath, whatever thought, whatever sensation, whatever feeling. And you stay with the breath, relaxing the belly, breathing in and out. If a part of you feels it can't relax or it's tight, you just let it be and breathe. It's not about changing, it's about being present. Breathing in and breathing out. And so you begin to recognize that we want to control outcomes. Breathing in, breathing out. When people come with problems or you're around someone who's ill and dying, or someone who has cancer or is aging, when you're around someone who has difficulties, we often try to offer things to change the moment. And yet the most powerful thing you can do is be fully present with that person. As human beings, the great equalizer that helps bring equanimity is reminding ourselves that despite those categories we put people into, we put ourselves into, we all are one. We all have to eat. We all have to breathe. We all have to poop. We all have to do these things to stay alive, to keep the body living. We all have to die. We all have to be born. We all have to die. So all of us have this in common, and a deep desire to be happy. We all want to be happy. So this is the great commonality. Death is the great equalizer after a life of separation, of higher and lower, of smarter or prettier, of more handsome, of more worldly, of more money or less money or poorer. All those things don't matter with that last breath. Breathing in, breathing out. As you breathe in, you realize the rhythm of your whole life. As you breathe out, you let go of it. As you breathe in, you realize the struggles. As you breathe out, you let go of it. As you breathe in, the worries come up. As you breathe out, you let go of the worries of needing the answers. Ultimately, become fully present in the moment. So the practice. Originally, we start a practice, and you can look at why you started your practices of meditation or yoga or walking or whatever your practices is that let you connect to yourself and to the higher presence of the universe, of the world, of the earth, of the spirit, whatever brought you there. Notice what you notice and keep breathing, not doing, not trying to be a great meditator, not trying to fix something, just breathing, just noticing, breathing in, breathing out. So we come together with this topic of impermanence. We come together to look at the practice that we all do and share together and do on our own. We come together because of many different reasons that brought you here this morning. We come together to support each other on our journey and to support our practices. So we practice because we start to learn things about our system. You practice when you're not in crisis. You practice on a daily basis. You practice until it becomes a habit. You practice your mindfulness. You get to know your own mind, its quirks, what triggers it. You get to know more about yourself and where you struggle. You get to relax that struggle and let it go. You get to notice the ones that you don't want to let go of. You become more aware. You become self-aware. Impermanence. Breathing in, breathing out. And so the first phase of the practice is this exploration of getting to know things, of reaching an expanded state. You breathe through all those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, those sensations. And you haven't labeled them good or bad. You simply let them be, and you've kept breathing. And something happens, the spaciousness. There's space, a deeper awareness. And so eventually you start to move into a phase where you're connecting in the fabric of the universe, and you're feeling the power of the universe. And you express your power in the world in the path of love. And your divine self grows daily in the world. And you breathe in and you breathe out. The world pulls us. The sensations that we attach to pull us. We like the pleasure more than the pain. We like the accolades more than the blame. We like the gain more than the loss, except maybe when it's weight. Breathing in, or debt, breathing out. So you breathe for the moment, and you remember why you're here, and you notice what you notice. And that second phase of meditation empowers you, opens you to the power of the universe. It's not a doing power, it's a being power. I can be happy. Breathing in, I can be happy. Breathing out, I can be happy.